In the far future, faster-than-light travel is possible via portals called stiffworks. Human and alien civilizations travel this way for millennia. Trade, war, and technology proliferate. Countless societies rise, thrive, fall, and vanish. Eventually, almost everyone forgets the secrets of the stiffworks. Almost. 300 years ago, the worshipful company of Stillfleeters is formed on Spindle, a space station of unknown origin. They send fleeters into the void using stiffworks in search of profit. It is 100 million years in the future. Welcome to Float City.
This episode of Float City contains descriptions of body horror, extreme violence, and the use of guns. Previously on Float City, the crew arrives in Nolastrian, attempting to track down co-employee Zeshtano Novell at the request of the extra-dimensional trade lord, the Saffron Anax. He says Novell is mucking with a trade deal of his and sullying his 100-plus-year-long business relationship with the company. When the crew arrives in Nolastrian, the Jash Kakudun, they find Zeshtano dead. Vynos reweaves, goes back in time to learn the identity of her killer and ends up saving her life, obviating 2 days of the team's original timeline. He and Zeshtano remain in her apartment and tease out the mystery while the rest of the fleeters repeat for the first time their trek across the continent sans Vynos. When they arrive, Oat has lost an arm, Merkis is tough, and everyone is cross with Vynos for disappearing without leaving a note. As they're discussing their options and the conspiracy to kill Zeshtano and seemingly frame the fleeters, a human, a Molruk, and a Hannah, a clockwork murder bot, bust through the front door. This is the Nolastrian Guard, and they're claiming there's been a report of a murdered fleeter. We join everyone now, crammed into Zeshtano's flat, tensions high.
Merkis puts up an authoritative, but still adorably bulbous hand.
Doing his best.
Has a stern frown of Tommy Lee Jones now.
Remy gives Merkis a thumbs up.
We're happy to cooperate, but who is the missing murdered fleeter?
I'll be the one asking the questions here. Is any of you Zeshtano Novell?
Merkis points.
Merkis.
Zeshtano says, yeah, that's me. And she says, who called in that someone was dead? And the Hannah goes,
What did I say about who is asking the questions?
She sort of like cranes her head around, and you can see she's looking between you, and she points to the mound that's behind you in the corner. She taps her human partner behind her and points to it, and she says,
What's that?
Oh, that guy was there when we got here. Not that I'm saying it's a guy necessarily.
I'm sorry, that was a person who may have been insane or on drugs or something, but tried to hurt Zeshtano here, tried to kill her, and unfortunately met his timely demise in the process.
You're saying it was timely? Nice.
Well, his untimely or...
No. I like it. Look.
Yeah, I'm just trying to explain.
We have different attitudes toward murder. I understand. But that was pretty cool.
I'm sorry, we are with the company, all of us here. Can we see your order?
You absolutely cannot.
I cannot see your writ. I'm sorry, I thought I had a right to see your writ.
Yeah, if you ask a cop to see the writ, they have to show you the writ. Everybody knows this.
That's the law.
As long as I've been in the company, I've been allowed to see a
We
writ.
have rights.
And writs!
I'll tell you what you can see. You can see the inside of the station downtown. Boys, lock 'em up.
and you can see that the 2 Nolastrian guards behind her start to pull out these what look like restraints. They're like 2 big metal bracelets with these dangling heavy black like pods on the sides of them, and they are like advancing on you from the direction of the door. And she's keeping her pistol up.
Whoa. Guys. Let's all calm down. Remy's reaching for his wooden katana. We just want to know what's going on. You don't have to take us anywhere. We can walk ourselves. Can we talk to your commanding officer or whatever? What is, I don't know what you guys are doing here. I just want some more information. Right, guys?
Yes. That seems like that would be in the
We'll
order.
cooperate, but you just gotta keep your distance, because it's been a long fucking day, okay?
Yes.
There's a dead guy in the corner, you know? Like, it's woof, buddy.
You'll be hearing from our refactor about this. Merkis is shaking.
Remy, as you are pleading with the Hannah.
I would not say
That's not pleading.
pleading.
That's fair. That's very fair.
It's more of a warning.
Yeah.
So the Hannah's the lead officer, the one who's talking?
Correct. She sort of looks like if Nicole Kidman was even scarier looking and made of ceramic parts.
Okay.
And had like a severe black bob.
Wow.
Okay.
Extra Stepford Wives.
Like literal a robot. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Her head is attached to her shoulders with these like thin black wires, and when she moves around, you can hear whatever the servos are on the inside like whirring, and they have these giant eyes that never blink.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're legitimately terrifying to behold.
It's taking everything inside of her to not scream out to the Hannah, what's the oldest thing you remember? What is the oldest thing?
Remy, as you are reaching for your sword and you are asking the Hannah to just hold on a second, like we don't need to fight, the door, already twice baked, is baked a third time.
Oh, poor darn.
As a third person now pushes it violently, and it just falls off of the hinges. It clatters to the ground, and on the other side of it, you see, again, 3 people. The first up front is a tall, skinny, but muscular human. He's holding a long, skinny pistol that's wrapped in what looks like rope, like it's a pistol that just has rope tied around it, and part of the rope is holding on like a strange pointed bayonet. And behind him is a short, stocky, big drink wrangler who's wearing like worn leather work clothes, and a smaller, pink-skinned human who is dressed similarly in like worn leather work clothes that at this point you might recognize as indicating someone's relationship to the sea or, like port work. They are also holding twine-covered guns, but they have shotguns. And as the blue human like sort of shoves down the door, sees that it's already been destroyed, has already been messed up twice, and like is surprised that he has knocked it completely off of its hinges. He comes in and sort of like looking at the door, he turns and he starts talking before he sees who's in the room, and he says,
Zed, you better tell me where Boo is. Wait a minute. What do we have here? I've heard of pigs in a blanket, but pigs in Zed's apartment?
Oh, God, Remy sits down.
Merkis lowers his hands and his jaw is just dropped.
Zesh, your apartment is huge, for one. I really like the decor. Secondly, you could have not, I guess. What do you want? What is going on?
Merkis starts to back away toward the desk. Like, what's happening?
The Molrook that was previously advancing on the group of fleeters flips around when the door gets knocked off of its hinges and levels his shotgun at the 3 people who have just entered into this room. And the Hannah is like locking eyes, doesn't turn around when this happens, but she does say you can't really tell who, but she does say out loud,
Canary, I'd recognize that voice anywhere. Put the guns down. You're coming with us too.
If I pick up a loaded gun, I don't put it down until it's empty. You put down your weapons.
Beta slowly puts her hand in her pocket and is clenching NTS.
Vynos moves kind of to the side of the room, just out of the line of direct fire between these 2 groups.
Yeah, Merkis backs up toward the desk and is trying to reach for something.
Remy stands up and he starts fiddling with his endothermic grenade maker.
Zeshtano puts her hands up and gets a big smile on her face. She looks back and forth at the group of you, at the Hannah, and at this man that the Hannah has just referred to as Canary. And she looks at Canary and she says, Canary, your timing is not very good. What can I do for you?
The only thing I want everybody to do is to stay cool and have these law boys put down their weapons.
Now, you and I both know that they are not going to do that. And if you would like to leave alive, I'm going to guess that the Nolastrian Guard here will be happy enough to escort us to the station, and that will be their win for the day, and that they will just let you, and she's looking at the Hannah now, looking back and forth between the Hannah and the Mulrook and the human, let you go on your way so as to avoid further complication.
I might be amenable to that, perhaps. And you can see that he begins to uncock one of his weapons. Like you can hear like the energy just begin to power down in the flat matte gray tube that he's holding like a baton. And then Oat says, yeah, let's all just take it easy here. I'll put on a pot of coffee. And he means to reach for the pot of coffee on the countertop, but instead his new arm goes the opposite direction and knocks one of the cops in the shoulder.
Whoa. He's a new arm. He's
No, it's too late.
late.
The cop, Mike, you take it.
Yeah. So the human Nolastrian Guard, who was the one that Oat was closest to, who's the one that was closest to the kitchen, gets basically smacked across the arms and face, and he lowers his weapon for a second, but then stumbles and pushes into the Mulrook, who had turned around to face the pirates, who had just busted through the front door, and pushes him in the back and pushes him forward so that he just falls directly in to Canary, who falls onto the ground, and there is now a scuffle. Oh
my God.
When the scuffle begins, the smaller human fires his shotgun at the Hannah.
I guess we're in initiative.
So I'm gonna let him do that, and then we're gonna roll initiative.
Oh, wow.
Sick.
Oh, wow.
Let's go. I'm very excited to use this grenade thing. I like that we've had a pratfall sort of slapstick situation.
Mm-hmm. I like that we don't know who's against who right now.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm supposed to be fighting.
Is the rest of us
really
involved in this scuffle, or is it
You're
just...
what does the word involved mean?
I mean, a
Yeah.
shotgun went off right by your head. I feel like everybody's on high alert already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, on the cultural level, does this necessarily involve you? Maybe not. And the direct demonstrable material
There are
level?
bullets in the room
Yes,
level?
Yeah.
You are involved.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the advertising portion of today's podcast. I'm here in your ears because I have an ad announcement. Do we get it? An ad announcement? Yes, I am making jokes. Anyway, I'm here to tell you about Realm, a podcast studio / fully functional entertainment concern that's dropping a new sci-fi show called Control, Alt, Destroy. This show is about a world-spanning game where nations compete against each other in order to win resources. Team USA needs some help though, so they decide to secretly bring in the game's designer. Is that cheating? Who can say? Is it cool? Hell yeah. And she's played naturally by Firefly Summer Glau. Okay, very cool. Basically, they turned Catan into an isekai, and if you understand that sequence of words, well then this show's for you. Control, Alt, Destroy is out now, hot off the presses, everywhere where you get your pods, and new shows drop every Thursday night. We put a link in the show notes for you so you don't miss it. Hell yeah. Control, Alt, Destroy. Do that. Yes.
first things first, the Big Drink Wrangler levels the shotgun and tries to take this opportunity for chaos to just take out the Hannah and just fires a shotgun into her back and fucking connects. Like you hear a loud thunk and you see sort of the vibrations all throughout her body. She kind of impossibly is not knocked down. She is knocked forward a little bit. She like takes one step as the slug round hits her where her robot spine would be. You can see as much as she is able to communicate emotion with her weird robot face. She looks very irritated and she takes 10 damage.
Whoa!
The first person to act in initiative is Oat.
All
Do you need me to describe the scene? It's quite chaotic.
Yes. Oh, why, Mark? That was going to be my first question to you. Would you just give us the setup here? What's the scale of the room we're in?
So Zeshtino's apartment is, I would describe it as a medium-sized loft. You are currently standing in the kitchen, and you are maybe holding a teapot, and you are closest, I think, at this point to either your friends or the Hannah, who has just been knocked forward a little bit. You were previously closest to one of the other guards who you accidentally pushed and sent flying. I would say the furthest person away from you is one of the pirates, and there may be, I don't know, like how big is a medium-sized loft? Maybe 20 feet, 25 feet?
Yeah. So we're all pretty fucking close.
I mean, there is not a lot of room between you. The fire marshal would be mad if there were this many, if they came by and saw this many people in this apartment.
Oat says, shit. And I'm going to use one of Oat's moves. I'm using my character sheet.
Whoa.
I am going to, grab towards the cop, the Nolastrian guard that I bumped and caused this whole thing. I'm going to reach towards them and, is there a visible grenade on their belt, a weapon that, they're not holding that's, in their pocket, or, some sort of weapon or something?
The closest...
I'm really hoping there's, a visible grenade on this thing's bandolier or something.
There's no grenade. You see a baton. They also have the strange kind of manacles that they were approaching people with. I think since they were holding those, and then you pushed them, if they lost their balance, there's a chance they would have dropped them, and they're basically just at your feet. So you can pick up these weird handcuffs if you want. You don't necessarily know how they work. They look very strange, but they're there.
I am going to try and steal the manacles.
Okay. I want you to use your powers, but also I want to maybe save you the 8 grit, because I did say that they maybe just dropped them and they're on the floor.
Okay.
So if you...
Then I'm going to grab the manacles easily, almost nothing, and then I'm going to use steel to try and take that baton.
Okay, great. Yes.
Free manacles, free space manacles. The baton is up to the dice. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, that's a lot of grit. Okay, so I burned 7 grit, and now 13.
You very handily pilfer that baton. There is a weird kind of confusing rubber loop that holds it onto their belt, which explains why they can be knocked over and it hasn't fallen off. But your nimble other fingers are able to undo it with aplomb, and you now have a baton that has a switch on the bottom of it. You do not know what the switch does, but it's otherwise just a long piece of molded, feels like metal.
Wow. I grab those things, jump in, grab those things, and then I start backing up until I'm sort of with the rest of the group, and I say, I am so sorry, this is my fault, but I think we have to leave right now.
The next person to act is Canary, who is just gonna roll combat to grapple and try to get out of this tangle with the guard. Interesting. So Canary rolled an 8, and the Molruk guard that is on top of him, that was pushed on top of him by his human partner, rolled a 1. So the Molruk guard was not planning on being involved in this fracas, but is basically tried to take this opportunity, was holding the manacles, had their gun slung on their side to try to restrain Canary, and so that's what the grapple was, to try to just get his hands into the manacles, and from those of you who were looking, it seems like try to affix them to the floor, pushing these weird balls that are on the other side of them, up against the down into the floorboards. And Canary is very tall and very lanky, and the Molruk, as previously described, they are sturdy, but they're pretty short. And Canary, it turns out, is able to maneuver pretty easily with this person on top of him. I mean, he does it without pageantry, so if you're not paying attention, you might not even see him very easily take a knife out of his pouch on his side and just stab this Molruk in the side several times.
Oof, nice.
There is dark blood pooling again from a Molruk in Zeshtano's apartment.
Oh no! Bad optics.
The next person to act is the Molruk guard, who is going to try to continue manacling Canary, even though he is being stabbed.
Oh my god! Such violence.
He succeeds. So Canary manages to do... Hold on. Dang. Okay. Canary does 9 damage. Canary is like stabbing this guy in the ribs and is trying to, is just being merciless. The Molruk is just trying to power through it to get to like grab a hand and put it in the manacle and grab the other hand and put it in the manacle. And he manages, he's very strong. He manages to do it. And you see after he has both of Canary's hands in this weird thing and he pushes them above his head, he smashes those 2 balls that are on either side of these strange handcuffs into the floor, and you hear this strange kind of electronic like kind of motor noise followed by a little whir. And even though it doesn't look like anything has changed, Canary obviously cannot move his hands. It looks like he's been somehow just affixed to the floor, and the Molruk is on top of him. He seems like he's going to try to get up, but he's got other stuff he's got to do. The next person to act is the Hannah, who is just gonna turn around and is gonna take a shot at Canary with her very fancy looking laser pistol. It's going to not be able to dodge, I guess. What do we do in this situation? Do I even give him the opportunity to move?
No.
Ow!
It's so small
Stained
in
as
there.
porcelain, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that she maybe just connects because he can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Wow. This is so interesting. All these NPCs acting before us.
I like that we're just watching this kind of like horrified.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just backing away like,
Right.
This is kind of what would happen, though. I'm kind of glad that we rolled lower on the because it makes sense that the scuffle would start where it starts.
She levels her pistol. You can see with pinpoint accuracy, she does not waver. She does not over aim. Her hands do not shake in one millimeter. She just moves the position of her gun and shoots Canary expertly in the knee that is sticking out from underneath the Molruk and basically just obliterates his leg. The next person to act is Merkis.
holy shit.
Oh, Merkis.
Oh boy.
Merkis, you're hard now. You're hard now.
Buddy,
Remember.
yeah, there's a
You
lot
got it.
going on, but
Well, okay.
You have a mustache.
Merkis takes a free action called Reposition, which is literally expertly casing the chaos around you. So he burns 6 grit, and he gains an extra d12 to use on any roll going forward. It's like a boost.
Nice. Incredible.
But he's backing up toward the desk. What is the window situation like?
there's one single window, and it's at the front of the apartment. So that is kind of diagonal
From where he
the
is.
writing desk. The blinds are closed, so there's like dark curtains over them.
Oh my goodness. What is on the desk behind him?
Bunch of papers, lamp, letter opener. You could go through the desk if you want to see if there's anything in there. There's 3 drawers on either side and a big middle drawer across the top.
Yeah, he's gonna go through all the drawers and grabs the letter opener.
Yeah, I'll let you grab the letter opener for free. Roll movement, and the higher you get, the more drawers you are able to go through.
Okay. For one, got 7.
You go through literally every drawer. There are 7 drawers, and you move fast enough. It's those sticky fingers. You don't have to fiddle with any of the knobs or anything. So it's interesting that you did this. You find mostly paperwork and like garbage and a bunch of old music cartridges and some zines that Zeshtano has collected but not filed into her library that is to your left. But in the bottommost drawer on the right-hand side, you find two things. You find a bottle of Rock, R-A-Q, which is a liquor that is made on Kakudun from like this weird local seed. And you find an extremely ornate laser pistol that is obviously of late Tefnian design. Do you pull it out of the desk?
Merkis marvels at it and discreetly turns around.
Okay.
And does not pull it out.
Got it. You're looking down on it. It looks huge. It looks very big. It looks like it's been modified, but it looks very ornate. It's got a lot of very fancy, swirly, like bronze and gold on it. And you can see there's like a bunch of gearing mechanisms in it. So it looks a little complicated.
He slips the letter opener into a pocket, but then looks toward Zeshtano to see if she's watching what he was doing.
She is not looking at you. She is mortified at what's happening. Right. And when she sees Canary's leg get blown off, she sort of buries her eyes in her hands.
So what is everybody else's position? So Merkis is at the desk, diagonal from the big window.
I think Zeshtano is probably next to you, to your right.
Got it. Cool.
So she's, maybe within a couple feet of you. I imagine to her right is a kind of scrum of a bunch of you, starting with Remy.
Okay.
Oat just sort of backed into the general group of friends.
Yeah. And then there's the 3 pirates and the 1 Molruk Nolastrian guard kind of in front of you, quote unquote, Merkis, at the front door of the apartment. So up next we have the human pirate who was the one who tried to shoot the Hannah, and the human guard who is the one that Taylor, that Oat just stole things from. They technically act at the same time. The human pirate is going to try to take another shot at the Hannah since he did so well at the first one. He shoots his shotgun and she sees it coming a mile away and just ever so slightly steps to the side, and a huge hole opens up in the wall behind all of you above the head of the Molruk that's underneath the turret.
Ow!
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Hey now.
Okay.
All right. Okay. That's enough.
Okay. We've had our fun here. Okay.
We're guiding the listener, teaching them how to experience this fight scene while it's going on. This is great.
Okay.
Merkis puts a protective right hand across Zeshtano's chest.
She looks down like, what the fuck?
This short lizard is trying to protect you.
You guys are actually probably similar height. She's very tiny. The human guard is going to spend his turn trying to stand up. He successfully stands up. So he has had his things pilfered from him, but he is now upright and trying to figure out what's going on. The next person to act is Remy.
Can I gunch up as a free action? Before, during my term?
No.
Okay. It's worth it to ask.
It's all happening so fast.
I'll remember this.
I appreciate your dedication to gunching, though.
Remy, I think he says, I knew I should have gunched up before we got here. Maybe I'll just use one of my fucking powers. Let's do it.
Now's the time.
Now's the time. I think he's going to use Overcharge. And the description is, you can will your blood nanites to do crazy things that are bad for them and for you and everything around you. When you overcharge, burn 8 plus X grit, minimum 1, add X to your initiative, combat check, damage roll for the next X rounds. In addition, your offensive nanobiopowers deal 2 times X damage. Every time you overcharge, make a will check. If fail, you must act in some inappropriately over-serious way on your primary passion, your telos. This can put you or your comrades at risk. It doesn't matter.
What is Remy's telos again?
Remy's telos is penance, so it's like testing his limits and what he can do. Like he's just sort of like, this is
all right.
I think this is.
That's what I think when I think about Remy, pining for redemption.
You know what I mean, though? It's like he wants to see. He just wants to see how far he can go. So I think I'm gonna burn 10 grit. I'll burn 10 grit. Remy like shifts his stance and like sort of starts walking a step forward to the scrum, and I guess everyone behind him can't see this, but his face is doing the thing where like the nanites are moving very quickly, and you can sort of see it's like his skin is rippling, and he's just like, you can tell that he thinks he's hearing like some fucking like heavy metal music, like he's ready to like shred, and then you see his skin sort of tearing off, and you recognize that the haze that you're seeing is nanites, and the skin is just sort of floating and it's bloody. So he's like got this like bloody cloud forming around him, and I think what happens is like his skin starts like sort of tearing off. I'm gonna go for it, but like it's
go for it.
Yeah, I'm going for it, and it's also like floating around him because the nanites are sort of leaving his body, and like they're like it's like he's like, it looks like he's powering up. Is that my turn, or can I do something else?
I think we need you to scream like you're going Super Saiyan.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to use Super Saiyan as the thing, but it's like instead of like an energy field or whatever, like in Dragon Ball Z, it's just like flecks of skin and nanites that are just
like
floating
nanite,
and
like
blood.
Like dusty nanite smoke trails.
It's horrifying, and like there's it's absolutely horrifying.
Overcharge is free, so you can do anything you want. It's like you haven't acted yet.
Nice.
Great.
Wow.
Okay, so I have to make a will check right now just to see if I do. His will is also 4, so
Oh, shit.
Maybe burn that remaining grit.
nope, because I'm going to use that to fight.
So you're basically guaranteeing that you are going to
Wait, no.
act inappropriately.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
We'll do it by the book. I'll roll the 1d4. Got a 2. Failed the will check. And I think what Remy's going to do is burn the rest of his grit, 3, and use charge. So I burned 3 extra grit. So I have 3 to my initiative, 3 to my combat checks, and 3 extra for my damage rolls for the next 3 rounds. And now my nanobio deal 2x. I guess it's 2x is just 2 times, right? It's not 2.
2x, yeah.
And he takes out his machete and throws it with charge at the back of the Hannah. So I guess it probably looks like a bolt of electricity because...
Yeah. And she's like a meter away from you, so it's like a very close, yeah.
Oh my god, his combat is 12. 12 plus 4. Let's go. 10? Yeah.
She fails. She does not beat 10.
Yeah. Okay. Damage equals D6.
She rolled a 7. Her movement dice is D10, and she even has a bonus, but I didn't give it to her because she's faced away, so.
D6 plus 8 is the damage on this, I think. 12.
Woo!
And this time, she falls over. The slug didn't do it, but you got right between 2 very important robot bits, and the explosion of the charged machete just, unbalances her in the perfect way, and she stumbles and, just face first into the ground, right next to Canary at this point.
Yeah, Remy's just like, okay, who's next? And he unsheaths his katana.
So you have to act inappropriately with regards to your telos of redemption.
I think that in this case, he's just going to kill everybody until there is nobody left.
Got it. All right.
I don't know if that means the team is in trouble yet, because there are still some guys.
We'll see. Yeah.
So I guess also you should add 3 to my initiative for the next rounds.
Wow.
Yes, it's very
It's
true.
a leapfrog.
So you will go at the same time as the Hannah.
Oh, shit.
Beta and Zestino now act at roughly the same time. Beta, do you want to go first?
Beta is looking around at the situation, and she is seeing clearly in her mind these 2 groups need to destroy themselves, and we got to get out of here. And she wants to communicate that to the group, so she's going, without saying it out loud, so she's going to meld all 6 of their minds together.
Oh, shit.
That's Beta, Merkis, Remy, Vynos, Oat, and Zestino.
Yes. So she's going to Aether speak them all together.
Wow.
I think actually if you try and touch Remy, you just get a wall of static because there's nothing going on in his mind.
Oh, I can't Aether speak with you right now?
I feel like I'm sure. I just assume he's like not.
He is the unmuted one on the Zoom call. you know, that's like moving around and stuff.
Yeah, we can hear his id breathing. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a good idea, Jeff.
It just sounds like the inside of someone's pocket, but it's the inside of Remy's brain.
Yeah.
That's 6, so I burned 6 grit.
Oh my god. I love this.
So that is 18, and that's 6. So we can talk. We're level 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
8 minutes. Okay, everyone. Sorry to do this. I know we talk a lot about not me just popping into your minds, and I haven't quite got the boundary situation with this quite figured out. But we need both of these groups to destroy one another, and then we need to get the heck out of here.
Can you see what I'm thinking?
Yes.
Do not look.
Whoa, how are you hungry right now? Come on.
We haven't eaten in so long.
Is Oat going through the drawers in the kitchen right now?
No. That's just what it's just on his mind.
All right.
But in some embarrassing way, which I'm curious about. Some humiliating form of hunger. Oh, goodness. Are all of us on here?
Vynos?
Yes.
Yeah,
Can you read my mind, or are we just kind of on a conference call?
Yeah, everyone, sorry. We're all together on this. I try to not do
All
huge
of us?
group ones. Yeah.
Oh, God. Merkis, are you here?
A booming voice.
Affirmative, Beta. I'm looking at that window.
Oh my gosh.
He changed more than he looks like on the outside.
Whoa.
Just stone cold face as he's doing this. Just boom, echoing through your heads.
Remy, did you come in, Remy?
Okay, look. This is fun, but nobody look at,
Wait,
other
also,
stuff.
are you not horrified by what just happened to Remy?
Vynos has seen this. He is horrified. He is quickly much more horrified by the thoughts that Oat currently has about this pile of food that he has somehow dressed as a woman, and it's sitting in a chair by him, and he's romancing it. I think he's going to go all the way with this food.
It's like,
Oh, God.
it's really, really tall, like the Invader.
An Amazonian food woman that he's going to have his way with.
Get out
Or
of
vice
my
versa.
head.
It's just cake that's shaped like the Invader.
Okay.
The next person to act is Zeshtino, and in the interim, Zeshtino has noticed, Merkis, that you are looking in the drawers of her writing desk, and she looks at you, and, since you're close enough, she can whisper, and she just says, like, you need to prime it. The button is on the right-hand side, not the left-hand side.
And Merkis just ever so slightly just like...
They're
nods.
connected by the brains. They could just say it out loud.
She does not
she's in
understand
our
that yet.
conference
She has
call
not
too?
yet figured it out.
Oh, I see.
You hear it, and then she goes, oh, sorry. And then she thinks it. You have to prime it. It's not the right.
You don't have to whisper here.
Yeah, you're in their mind. No whispers.
Just booming.
Understood.
So this is a use of Zeshtino Novelle's power called Give Orders, where she can give you advice, and you receive +4 to your next attack.
Oh!
She can't do anything else. This is the only thing that she can do. So her round is done. The next person to act is the Big Drink Wrangler Pirate, who is going to... Who does this person identify as a threat? Probably Remy. Remy, I need you to roll movement and beat 5.
7.
Yeah, he shoots you, and he loads the slug, levels the shotgun, pulls the trigger. There's a huge blast, and all of you brace for what has just happened to happen again. An explosion in the wall behind you all. Remy doesn't react at all, but the bullet just disappears, and you hear all of Remy's nanites just consuming it and crunching on it as it passes over his shoulder and next to his head.
God. Oh, God. Is he going to be okay?
Why? Is he ever really okay?
He can handle it.
Vynos, you are the last to act in the loop. What is it that made you so distracted that you are last in initiative?
Well, the last thing I did was I moved against the wall. So I think it could be a couple of things. One, I could have moved too far against the wall and then ran into, a closet or hit something off the wall and it fell on me or something like that. If it's nothing like that, then I may just be still really, really pissed off that I never got a writ. It's just incensed.
Sure. Yeah, I think are you like pulling out pieces of paper from your cloak, being like trying to find local laws?
Yes. Yeah. Maybe I moved aside before all of this to just prove that I had a right to see the writ.
You walked over to the bookshelf to find the legal standings for Kakudun, and you were like, now listen here.
Yes. Well, I happened to see that she had some legal standings for Kakudun as I moved over to the wall. I figured, they would probably huff and puff for a couple minutes so I could get the rule ready on hand whenever they tried to arrest us again.
Okay, so everybody, Vynos has been in the corner talking to a book. You are currently holding a tome.
Yes.
It's only been
6 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
6 seconds. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
My guess at this point is that they are trying to kill each other. Remy is getting involved, but I'm not particularly worried about Remy right now in this state. I think he could probably tear these people apart pretty quickly on his own, even if that's a misguided thought. I think that's a thought that Vynos has. So he does, make sure that he's moved well aside so that he's out of range of any shots, but does look back into the book or continue the conversation with the book about the rule about due process.
All right, that's your turn? Mm-hmm. Great. All right. The next person to act, top of the initiative order, is Oat.
Seshino, is there any back door out of this place?
She thinks at you. Do you see a back door?
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, let me just pull the secret hatch, and then she reaches over.
It's okay, everybody. She's got a secret hatch.
And she pulls down a book and then gives you a look like, oh.
I got a plan, Oat.
What?
We gotta break that window.
Okay. Oat misunderstands and begins running forward with the intent to break through the window. He is gonna run and try to hit it with the baton. 1. I rolled a 1.
Oh no!
My
Out!
fault. Oat bolts forward, and he tries to jump over the pile, the scrum of the cops and the pirates, to break the window open with his baton. Doesn't make it quite high enough. Maybe his balance is thrown off by his much, much lighter arm and the metal armature it's attached to, and he lands right in the middle of the fight on the ground.
You trip over both the Hannah and the human guard that you knocked down, knocking down the human guard again, but also falling yourself. And now you are also in the dog pile that's on the floor in Zeshtino's apartment.
Not what I had in mind, Oat.
Beta, thanks. We need to get better at communication while we're all connected. Remember, everyone can hear everything you think.
The next person to act is Canary, who just shouts, "Get me out of these things!" At his fellow pirates who are around him. The Molruk guard, who was on top of Canary, is just going to try to stand up and cannot do it. Is still bleeding. Is not doing well. Is very, very hurt. The Hannah, she is just going to try to beat the shit out of Oat.
Well,
now that he's the closest thing.
sorry, Oat.
You can hear Oat's thought. He's thinking, this is not Merkis's fault. This is my fault.
I mean, I guess Remy just looking down at you with the intent to kill. Like, he doesn't really have a face. No thoughts, head empty. It's just one word, and it's kill.
The Hannah, a renowned murder robot, feared across the void for their combat prowess, rolled a 1.
The dice don't lie.
The Hannah did not realize just how hurt she was by Remy's charged machete. And when she tries to maneuver to get Oat, she does it in just such a way that her whole left arm, which is the one that was holding her laser pistol, basically completely disassembles. and falls off of her body. And it starts squirting black, oily liquid from the inside of her torso. And she's basically like now, like pulling herself with her remaining arm to, try to get towards someone that she can exert some authority over. But she does not look good. This is like Terminator T-2000 level. Like she is very damaged and yet still going. Like terrifying, killbot eyes. The next person to act is Remy.
I guess the Hannah is directly in front of him.
Basically at your feet, yeah. Like squirting robot liquid everywhere and clawing towards one of your teammates.
I think he briefly regrets destroying his machete because his sword is made of wood, and that is because it has a flesh-melting fungus inside of it that has a 1 in 2 chance of infecting any non-informatic opponent. Unfortunately, there is an informatic opponent on the ground.
Yeah.
I think here's what I think is going to happen. Let's see. I think Remy's just going to step forward, step on the robot, and calmly just stab his sword at whoever's on the ground in front of him.
That would probably the closest person if you're stepping over the Hannah is the human guard.
Oh shit! This is definitely gonna hit because overcharge.
Yeah, I might. It's very possible, depending upon what you rolled. This person cannot beat it. So
15.
Oi.
Yeah, you stab the sword down. The guard cannot get out of the way, but there is a lot of wriggling. So when you stab it down,
it is wooden. Also, he's just going to try and push it all the way through this guard.
Oh. You go through like Oates, the space between Oates' given arm and his torso. It's like just barely not touching your partner. With a 15, sure, you can push a dull wooden sword into flesh. Ugh.
And so I have a 1 in 2 chance of infecting. I guess I gotta roll damage, but I have a 1 in 2 chance of infecting every non-informatic opponent with a disease that means they will die within D6 rounds.
Yeah, roll damage and then roll anything that's
it was 1
even.
damage.
Okay, he's done 1 damage. Roll a D6, and if it's high, they are infected.
Please be high. Oh, I got a 1. Not infected.
Infected.
Yeah,
Still horrifying.
Yeah.
You push really, really hard. The reason it only does 1 damage is because it turns out the Nolastrian guard is wearing a Kevlar suit, so it's very hard to actually pierce or something like Kevlar. Remy, also, what happens? Taylor, I'm going to do it now. Okay, great. Remy, as you're doing this, you pull out the sword. You push it down on the person that's below you. You've just sort of stepped on and over the Hannah. You can feel some of her synthetic ceramic Serasteel bones crunching like sort of broken plate beneath your boots. And you're pushing against this guard with your sword, thinking or maybe not thinking anything.
Nope, just kill.
And what happens is that your ears start to ring. You start to get really severe tinnitus, and it makes you a little woozy. You're still pushing, but you have to lean on your sword a little bit to keep your balance, and your eyes start to water. There starts to be this really intense pressure in your sinuses. There's something pressing on the inside of your head. And you also get, if you don't already have it, this really intense feeling of dread or doom. Something very, very bad is going to happen, and it's going to happen right now. And that's it. That's the end. That's the end of maybe not just you, maybe everything. The world is over. You feel like you and all of your friends and everything you've ever done and everything you've ever known for however long you've been alive is nothing but an insect, and that there's just this giant boot coming down on you. And then the front wall of Zeshtano Novelle's apartment blows open. There is a huge force of something. You do not know what it is yet. You are all knocked over. Everybody is knocked down onto the ground. The first thing that when you sort of come to that you experience is this terrible smell of melted plastic and burning rubber, and it stings. It stings the inside of your nose, and it makes your eyes hurt, and you start to hear this really awful sound, like as many fingers as you could possibly get on a single blackboard. Out in front of Zeshtino's apartment, sort of in the space in front of it, like sort of on, but also sort of through the balcony that was on the other side of the windows, you start to see this form unfold into existence. You first see this like long, wide, like tentacle or tendril. It's gray, black, sort of shimmering. It looks like oil. It's like slick and reflective, and it extends from this envelope that has just opened up in space. This long horizontal line that's like, maybe 3 or so feet tall, and it just like dips out of this envelope, and you can see at the end of it there's this long fang-like talon, and then another one sort of like unfolds from this envelope, and a third, and then a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth, and it's like this weird, inscrutable, writhing pile of tendrils with talons on the end of them, just pouring out of this envelope onto the space between the balcony in front of Zeshtino's apartment and the apartment itself, over the rubble that this, thing that has opened up has caused. You can't see an end to it. You can't see a beginning to it. It's just this writhing, like 5 or 6 foot tall pile of tendrils, tentacles, with piercing little things on the end. One of the tendrils kind of like cobras up a little bit, and it sort of is looking around almost like a periscope. It's like it's sniffing or looking or something, and then it levels and it points directly at Remy.
Ah, right. The emissary.
This is the emissary.
Oh,
Commercial break!
shit.
Does your underwear stink? What are the...
Yes, it does.
Is this an advertisement for washing your underwear?
Yes, it is. You can order a little man named Tony to come to your house and wash your underwear.
Hey, it's me. I'm a Tony Underwear.
I needed my underwear cleaned after I listened to Fun City.
I helped her. Use code Tony.
Huh. I guess Remy's still on the ground. He gets up, looks at it, and levels his sword. He's unsure what's going to happen, but he wants to be ready for whatever happens.
The tentacle that was doing the searching and that pointed with its talon directly at you launches forward, just flies forward, and it makes this low, like wet whipping noise. Roll your movement and beat a 5.
I have no grit to
Holy
burn,
shit.
so
You gotta roll it.
Oh, but can you
Oh
turn?
my
Is there
God.
time to turn health into grit?
Yeah, Mike, that's a question for you.
I believe that you can do that for free.
Okay, I'm just gonna do that then. I'm gonna
It's at the cost of 3 to 1.
3-1. He's going to burn nearly all of his health. I think he's gonna.
Holy moly.
Oh my god.
He's gonna drop 12 health and get 4 grit, and he's gonna burn the 4 grit.
You can only burn 3, right?
Okay, I'll do 3. 7. Wow, that was.
There you go. You needed those 3.
Yeah.
That was so
Sorry.
scary.
And you do not know what happens when this thing connects. The talon tendril rockets towards you. Remy, you get the distinct impression that it was aiming directly at your forehead. You managed to dodge it just barely. If not for your quick thinking, it would have been directly on target, and it would have pierced your forehead, but dodged just a little bit, and it like slaps down on the ground in front of you, over Oat and the Hannah and the human guard, who are now covered in this like gross, smelly black something, and it just sort of like starts to retreat back into the writhing mess. The next person to act is Merkis.
Oh my god. So that thing is blocking the entire front.
I would say that it is occupying a fair amount of space. Like, let's say it's about 5.5 feet tall, by like maybe 6 feet wide, and it seems like it's. So I have written in my notes. I have nicknamed this Danger Spaghetti. So the emissary is like a always changing shape, but right now, yeah, it's like a 5 foot tall pile of spaghetti.
And remind me why the emissary comes.
The emissary comes when someone uses open mind because it announces the existence of an extremely powerful brain.
It announces to the creatures beyond our ken that
Yes.
you are there.
Yeah.
I see. And
It's like raising your hand in a room full of hyperspace serial killers.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna just and I realize that this gives some people an advantage over others. So if you find this to be a problem, let me know. But just for play speed, I'm going to say everyone can get up at this point as a free action.
Okay.
Yeah. Merkis says to the group chat,
I can take someone with me out of here. Who should it be?
Vynos pipes up immediately that she should take Zeshtano.
Yeah, Oat also in his mind screams Zeshtano.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. She over and over again. She says absolutely not. Absolutely
Zeshtano,
not.
they're here for you.
No.
They'll kill you. Damn it.
I'm not leaving you here to die in my apartment where I should have died. You saved me, and now it's my turn to help you. There's no way that you're taking me out of here.
Merkis looks to his right, offers a hand, and says,
Come with me if you want to live.
Zeshtano puts her hands up. You will have to forcefully take her.
damn, really? I think what will happen is I can roll it and see if he can. Merkis is going to dive. Basically, it is a getaway power. And can take one additional person with him, depending on how the roll goes. So he's gonna burn 6 grit and make a move check. But because he did the reposition earlier, he's gonna use a d12, and he is gonna still burn 6. So he's gonna burn a total of 12. And then roll a 12. 4 plus 6 is a 10.
Okay, I'm going to give Zeshtano a chance to try to wriggle out of this. Because she really does not want to go. She does not. This is against her nature in every possible way. She is not someone who abandons difficulty. She's not someone who abandons teammates. She is someone who stares down danger in every possible turn. Do you feel like it is more fair for her to roll movement to try to basically dodge you and to duck away, or do you think it's more fair for her to roll combat to try to swat you off?
Probably move because he's trying to grab around her waist, like a damsel in distress.
She can't beat it. So she wriggles around, and she, as Merkis, with his newfound confidence, is just taking charge of the situation. She's like, no, I have to there's nothing, I need to help. This is my mess, and I'm gonna clean. You dive. How? Explain to me in as much detail and drama as you can muster how it is that Merkis manages to get the two of them out of this situation. And where do you end up?
He just, in the big group chat, he goes,
Ma'am?
and just, he's short, he has very short arms, so he has to get really close to her to grab around with both arms around her waist. And like a juggernaut, uses that momentum to run towards the open slot by the window, to dive out onto the balcony and fall down the stairs, basically.
You're going over the danger spaghetti?
Maybe next to, or it's the only open thing, right?
That and the door.
I mean, I can't. The thing about dive is that I cannot argue with it. I don't think
It's dive.
Yeah.
Can't fight it,
It's
yeah.
dive.
So I can't.
love Stillfleet.
Yeah, I can't even have the Danger Spaghetti be like, it's so funny that the Emissary, a much cooler and more serious name, I can't even really have the Emissary try to swipe at you. You have to be successful. So yeah, there's a little space that Merkis maybe just has an eye for as the Banshee.
Dude, you're a gecko. Run up the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Run.
Yeah. Okay.
Do
That's great.
some gecko parkour. Describe it for us.
Yeah.
With
So
Zeshtano,
Merkis,
who's roughly your size, under one arm.
with long hair flailing everywhere. Merkis grabs Zeshtano around the waist and just kind of hurls them toward the rightmost wall, and with his sticky bottom feet starts to scale the wall and has a little parkour flip from the corner to the ceiling and then out the hole in the wall.
You're on the second floor, so do you just like tumble down the stairs and get to the courtyard? And
he's not graceful, but he just starts booking it, and as you hear him in the group chat,
That was so cool. I'm so cool now.
yeah, you get to the bottom, the street in front of Zastano's apartment. It's late, but there is a small group of people who have heard the commotion. I mean, a wall got blown open and there have been multiple gunshots. But Nolaster being Nolaster, like weird, dangerous shit happens here a lot. For some people, this is like entertainment. You know, it's like watching car chases on the news in LA. Like this is just sometimes evening goings on. You're out on the street in Nos. It's dark. It's getting lighter. It's probably like early morning at this point. We'll just come back to you in initiative and talk about what you're going to do. Does that work? Great. Mm-hmm. So the next person to act is the human pirate who is by the door. He fucks off. He does not get paid enough to deal with this. So he sees the danger spaghetti blow open the wall. He gets knocked over. He was gonna try to shoot some of the Nolastrian guards because, that's a beef that he understands. They're pirates, they're police. They need to fight one another every once in a while, or, so he has been led to believe through the adoption of his ideology. A giant pile of black tentacles is not something that he knows how to deal with. So he runs and he tries to follow the same path that Merkis did, and the danger spaghetti just puts a tentacle talon directly into his spine. And lifts him up and kind of wiggles him around. I can't remember the name of the horror movie, but like you would imagine in a horror movie, you can basically see his innards just be squeezed out of the hole in his spine. He just becomes a husk of a person. It's like squeezing a toothpaste tube, except it's all of the person guts.
What you want?
Wait, what happened?
No, don't tell me what happened.
No, you don't want to know.
Don't use words to describe it.
Oh, God, we gotta get out of here.
The human guard who has the sword being pressed into them by Remy and is underneath Oat is just trying to get up and cannot. The next person to act is Beta.
Can Merkis still talk? Merkis still
Yes.
talk to everybody, right?
There's also a gun in the drawer.
So Beta has just seen this go down, saw the guy get skewered, and was literally preparing herself to do heal on Remy, but hastily pulls out NTS and presses there's a button on top, right?
You can, however you want, he'll respond. It's nanotechnology, so whatever you're thinking, you guys are on a wavelength.
I press the button. What I think is a button.
Yeah. NTS thinks to himself, oh, how cute, she thinks I'm a button.
He does not. That's not what NTS
I know. Okay, yeah. Taylor, I'll let you take over NTS. He floats in front of you and unfolds into his dark black rock Ed 209 shape and spits out his several nanotech stairs that you can climb into. Do you get inside?
Yes. Remind me the will test that I have to pass. What do I have to get to?
Yeah, so you get in, you climb the two little stairs, and you sit down, and the top closes down over you, and you lose all sense of self.
Right.
You lose all proprioception as you know it. Phenomenologically, you are now a bundle of minuscule nano robots. Please pass a will test. And I would just like to emphasize again, please pass a will test.
And to pass that, it's 6, right?
It's simple, so it's 6. Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm going to burn 6 grit.
So just do not roll a 1.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Always.
That's the game.
That is the game.
Surprisingly hard game.
Will is a 12. We always don't want to roll ones. Did it roll? Oh, got a 2. Barely.
Oh, my Lord.
It tilted over from the 1. It was like a slow... Time diverged for just a moment.
God.
Shannon, please now roll reason.
Right. And then
Because every time you get in NTS, you have the opportunity to learn an additional thing that NTS can do, as he has a near infinite list of capabilities.
9.
9. Great. Okay, you can learn 3 things. What am I going to tell you?
It's sign, maybe.
NTS is definitely a Gemini.
Good to know.
Okay, Shannon.
Yeah.
NTS has a laser cannon.
Great.
Nice.
What does that mean? How does it work? How much damage does it do? What does it cost? Who knows?
Okay.
Shannon.
Yeah.
NTS has a power called Lock On. You can spend X grit to boost a combat roll by X. I would like to remind you, you are spending NTS's grit in this situation, and you do not know how much that is.
Okay. Whoa. And what's the power called?
Lock On.
Lock on. Oh, damn.
NTS, when you do this, when you do Lock On, NTS plants its feet, and you cannot move this round or the next round.
Damn. Okay.
So that's the trade-off, is you can spend God knows how much grit, but you can't move.
Spend 100 grit.
Right. That's what I feel like
To
NTS
boost
has
100.
endless.
NTS is the coolest.
Yeah. So I would just like to be very clear that it is, when I say you cannot move, you cannot move.
Right. When you say boost combat, that means boost the actual combat roll.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're not boosting damage.
Right.
You are boosting the success of the combat roll.
Sure. Okay.
This next one is complicated and long. So I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm just going to I'm going to paste it in the chat.
Okay.
You have discovered what nihilist protocol is.
Oh, thank God.
Oh,
was hoping
wow.
for this.
Nihilist Protocol is back.
Is this the one?
It's
Is
back.
this the one she almost?
Yeah.
triggered
No,
last
that
time?
was
Yes.
Dandelion Protocol.
That was the Dandelion
Oh,
protocol.
Dandelion.
Yeah.
You do not know that one, which is probably good for everyone. Nihilist Protocol.
Oh my God.
For 10 plus X grit, where X is the number of combat rounds or 3-second increments, NTS enters a state of extreme offense. Its plate metal glows red hot, though the cockpit remains cool, and will melt or inflame any object which touches it for D8 damage. Every shot becomes a lock-on of value 10 plus X, the priority of which is determined by NTS rather than the pilot. NTS will also determine the most appropriate nature of the attack, but the pilot may negotiate to influence its choices.
Wow.
NTS also gains the ability to fly momentarily and will produce atmosphere for the number of rounds specified.
That's fucking insane.
Okay. When all these things with
you got an
grit,
Iron
it's my
Man
grit
suit.
for this.
Again, you are spending NTS's grit. You do not know how much it has, and you do not know what happens when it runs out.
Yay.
Oh my God.
But for this, the X is the amount of combat rounds you've already done.
No, the amount of combat rounds you intend to do, and I would like to remind you that one of the things that is not listed is turning it off.
Oh shit. All right. Oh shit.
Welcome to Nearer the Sun Than Is Advisable. Is this your first time in Nearer the Sun Than Is Advisable?
Oh, don't play coy with me. You remember me, NTS. How are you doing today? I hope not as busy as last time.
Nearer the Sun Than Is Advisable would like to know your location. Allow?
Sure.
For your safety and convenience, Nearer the Sun Than Is Advisable would like to collect data about your choices and actions while inside Nearer the Sun Than Is Advisable. Would you like to allow or see options?
Oh, NTS. I'll allow it.
I like to think that somehow GDPR compliance has existed for like 100 million years.
It's the only thing that carried on.
Welcome back, Beta Combat. Hold on 1 second. Yes, I would like to accept this medal on behalf of the consortium and all of the city-states of the Ort province. All right, how can I help you today, Beta?
Oh, there we are. Well, we're in quite a sticky situation. NTS.
Extruding lubricant.
Everybody who's standing around NTS outside, a weird pool of clear jelly starts to emit from its feet. The floor is now slightly slippery around NTS.
Water-based lubricant oil depleted. Applying oil-based lubricant.
Wait. You see that tentacle man? That's the sticky situation.
Lubricant jets will not reach that far.
Got it. Can I act in this turn or that turn?
Yes.
You may act.
Getting into NTS is a free action.
Oh, damn. Then I am going to fire one of the guns at Octopus Tentacle.
Okay.
What is it called again? Spaghetti Man?
The emissary.
Oh, right. The emissary.
Dangerous spaghetti.
The dangerous
Dangerous
spaghetti.
spaghetti.
Roll a d20.
Let's hope she's big. Oh, 15.
Yeah.
The danger spaghetti cannot beat that.
Nice.
So roll an additional d20 for damage.
Oh, yeah. Come on. NTS, you got it. 19.
Tactical mazer attack effective. Your session will expire in 10 seconds.
What?
If you wish to stay logged in to nearer than the sun than is advisable, say, okay.
Okay.
Session re-engage.
You know, every day is a mystery with you, NTS. I learn new things, and, you're learning new things about me, too. No response from us.
The arm cannons, Daka Daka Daka, and the danger spaghetti absorbs a bunch of huge caliber bullets. Visually, not much happens to it, but you definitely have connected. You've connected a lot. The next person to act is Zestino, who is just going to try meagerly to escape the... She somehow manages to get even more, she repositions herself, and Merkis has an even tighter hold on her now because she rolled a 1. Merkis is just holding her back as she tries to re-enter her apartment. The next person to act is the Big Drink Wrangler pirate, who he starts going through his work clothes, his worn leather work clothes, and you see him opening up these little pockets, and after a little while he pulls out this thing that looks like someone cut a sphere in half but then also scooped out the flat side of the sphere. Kind of looks like a black plastic shell, and he hits the deck and he starts putting it up against the spheres that appear to be holding Canary to the floor. He starts rubbing it against the manacles and saying under his breath, come on.
Tiny Pocket Wrangler, get that hemisphere out your pocket and get me the hell out of here.
The next person to act is Vynos.
Okay, so Vynos sees everybody just basically trying to scramble to leave, with the exception of NTS, who looks like he's about to gear up for battle. He thinks he's done with the legal process of being arrested now. He was actually wrong about that. They don't have to give you a writ. And he knows that his mind drifts to his shotgun. He knows that will probably do nothing to this massive superpowered tentacle being thing. So he goes into the drawer to grab that pistol that he heard about in his in the group chat. Knows where the latch is, or the priming pump, or what was it? The button that was that activates
Oh, right, because Zestino said it to everybody in the group chat. Yeah,
so
you know that the priming mechanism is on the right, not the left. Yeah.
I don't know if I could do this in one turn, but he wants to pull the gun out and fire it at the tentacle monster.
Yeah, absolutely. You pull it out. It's very heavy. It's big. It's a little uncomfortable to hold for how large it is. And it is in fact very ornate. And sure enough, it's not by the thumb. It's by your pointer finger. There's a little priming switch that you have to flick. When you do that, a bunch of the ornate swirls that are in this strange little cage around it begin to glow, and you can feel it start to vibrate. And yeah, if you can point it at whatever you want and pull the trigger, roll combat.
My combat is 4+1, but I think I'm gonna burn 6 to add 6 to it. So that would be 4 + 7. So I would roll a d4 and then add 7. Oh, I got 4. So that is a total of 11.
The danger spaghetti cannot beat that. So roll 4d6 damage.
Holy shit.
4d6 damage. That's a good gun.
Damn.
You guys are going to kill the spaghetti, which might fuck up my plan.
That is only going to come out to 7.
When it fires, it makes the loudest laser pistol sound that you've ever heard. This is definitely a serious piece of weaponry. You are knocked back a little bit from the recoil. You didn't even know that you thought maybe the point of laser pistols was no recoil, but whatever power provision mechanism is inside this thing, when it discharges, it is serious. You don't even see it. You do not see any beam. You do not see a bolt. You just hear this loud sound, and then you see this big charred hole in the side of the emissary, which very quickly closes up. But you hit it dead on, and you did 7 damage. The laser pistol now, you also swear, is lighter than it was before, and it's making a different kind of whirring sound. And the priming mechanism automatically flips back to the previous position.
What do we hear outside?
Yeah, Merkis, you would hear like a very loud
Pew.
The difference between the normal pew and this pew is the difference between Merkis's old voice and his current voice.
Yeah.
And yeah, you see like a puff of smoke and probably a little bit of debris, like flesh, whatever you want to call it, come off of the danger spaghetti, but nothing else.
Oh, I wanted to use that.
The next person to act is Oat.
Oat runs and jumps in front of Remy to just get in front of Remy, because that's all he knows, is that this thing seems to be after Remy. Jumps in front, he pulls out the baton, he points the baton at the emissary, and he clicks the button on the bottom.
You click the button on the end, and it actually lights up and begins to flash the whole length of it like it's a flashlight.
Oh, hiya! he throws it at the emissary.
There we go.
Yeah, roll combat.
Happy. We're doing pretty well. I thought this thing was just going to take us out dead.
There's still time.
2. I rolled a 2.
The danger spaghetti whacks it out of the air as it arcs towards it, and you hear it clatter in the distance. Merkis and Zestino, a spinning Nolastrian guard baton, lands slightly in front of the group of people you're standing amongst. The group is getting a little bit louder minute by minute as this fracas continues, and a bunch of people go, "Whoa!" and step back. As if the firing of laser pistols was not enough, when the baton clatters, they're like, hey, this is getting dangerous now, all right? Canary acts next. He is attached to the floor with the polymagnetic manacles, and Tiny Pocket Scrambler is trying to ostensibly free him. He still has a Molruk guard on top of him who has not been able to stand up.
He doesn't have his hands free. He's got his leg blown off. There's a guy sitting on him, and I don't think he can do anything.
All right. The Molruk guard reaches into one of the pockets that's in his vest and pulls out a skinny sort of plastic square. It sort of looks like a square calculator almost, and he puts it on the ground and he slides it towards his partner, the Hannah, who's right in front of him, and puts it underneath her grasping arm, and he says to her, "Use your code." The Hannah is the one that acts next. She just types in this little thing that's underneath her hand, keys in a bunch of numbers on these little buttons. She's going to 3 grit. She's got that. Okay. When she finishes typing a few buttons, all of the little buttons go from unlit to lit, a kind of just dull cream colored. And she says,
"Backup requested."
And then the address that you are at.
Shit.
The next person to act is Remy.
How far is he from the bad jelly?
2 meters, 2.5 meters.
Great. Is the Hannah still on the ground?
She is. Yeah, she's basically underneath you right now.
Yeah, so he's still in kill mode.
God.
So I think what he's going to do is he's going to kneel down and try with the last of his grit to use charge to fling the Hannah into the danger spaghetti.
I love it. Are you kidding me?
I
That's
knew you were
amazing.
gonna do that. I had a feeling. I was like,
Perfect.
So he kneels down. It's like he's almost taking a running stance, and he he crouches down and it looks like he puts his hands in one in front of the other, palms out, and looks the Hannah in the eye, doesn't say anything, and just uses charge to try and blast her directly into the maw. of the dangerous spaghetti.
This is like you're like tossing a drunk out of a bar, but you're tossing a murder robot into an unspeakably horrible extra-dimensional being.
With knives, yeah.
With knives, yeah.
So, I guess, what should I...
I think technically this is, I would describe this as a grapple, so I would roll combat, and she also is going to roll combat, but her combat is bad now because she is slowly disassembling, so.
Yeah.
She's going to have a chance to not get it, but she's not going to have a good one.
It's also going to do double damage to whatever it hits.
Okay.
Because I guess she might, because the object explodes whenever hits. All right, so
Yeah.
I guess I'll roll combat.
Yeah, you guys have done very well. Have any of you taken damage?
Yes. I rolled an 11.
You have literally the upper hand, and yeah, she can't get. She's also like covered in the oil that's leaking from her own body. She's like sliding around. NTS let a bunch of lube out, so it's like this is a disaster.
Slippery situation now. Yeah.
Yeah, she can't get out from underneath you.
So I guess she is launched at the thing and is going to explode. Damage equal to D6 plus 1 plus 2. So D6 plus times 2.
I do not think the Hannah is long for this fictional world.
So yeah, I guess she's gonna get launched into the maw of the thing and explode on the thing for 16 damage.
I suppose it also makes sense that this is how much damage the Hannah takes, right? Like,
I don't know. I mean, like, this is not generally used. You generally do not use objects as big as a person, but I guess it's like half a person. It says any object.
There's maybe a sapient rights question in here. Is the Hannah an object? For game terms, we will say yes. Yeah, you charge the highly beaten up torso of this Hannah, who has just called for backup, and you launch it into the vicinity of the Danger Spaghetti, who does a similar thing that it did to, or tries to do a similar thing as it did to the machete. It tries to like kind of bat it out of the way, sees that this is slightly bigger, so it extends a few more talons. What it ends up doing, instead of batting it away, because it doesn't realize how heavy and, again, charged this object is it just ends up catching it almost and kind of half swallowing it when it explodes. The Hannah just completely obliterates. There's Cerasteel ceramic plate metal, like in this like weird off-white and pink color, strewn all about the apartment and the veranda or the balcony or whatever you want to call it. Some of it rains down onto the people below. There's this thin, it almost feels like sand falling from the sky, and like little sections of her shoulders or her shins where you can see the steel struts that have been printed through her nearly indestructible ceramic body. And you blow a big hole in the top of the emissary, and for the first time you have maybe seen it like kind of like lurches a little bit, and it doesn't form itself back together as quickly as it has in the past, but it is still sort of like writhing and slithering, and there are still some danger talons floating around trying to figure out what it does next, which it does right now.
Right.
The emissary is again going to float a talon, and it is going to aim for Remy's brain.
Oh no.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I guess Remy rolls to dodge. I don't have any grit to spend. He has 5 health. This is gonna be good.
Oh shit.
Do I get any movement buffs for overcharge? All right, hopefully I don't fuck this up. 8! Let's go!
The Danger Spaghetti has rolled a 12.
Well,
Fuck.
hate to see it.
Taylor, in the chat, raises an interesting point. Oat has stepped between
Oh, true.
Remy
Oh, Jesus Christ.
and the Danger Spaghetti. I think, Taylor, how do you want to deal with this? Do you want Oat to have a split second to choose to take the blow, or to choose to dodge out of the way, like he sees this thing coming at him, or is he just not gonna roll, and he's gonna be like, he's here to protect Remy, he's gonna take it in the chest?
I mean, no one else has gotten I guess we have given people a chance to dodge the attack. What, that's just a straight up movement roll?
That would be a movement roll. Like, does Oat want to roll that? Did he step in front of Remy, and then as the talon is rocketing towards him, is Oat like, oh no, I changed my mind?
What would he have to roll to get out of the way?
He would have to roll movement. I think the way that I would do this, and this is only because the emissary is extremely powerful, I'm gonna allow it that he's basically trying to attack both of them, and that in the emissary's quote-unquote mind, he's just going to go through Oat to get Remy, or if he has to go through Oat to get Remy, that's fine. So Oat would have to roll the same thing that Remy did, which is you have to beat 12. You have to roll movement to beat 12.
This rules.
Wow.
Oat intentionally got out there in front of everybody to fight. He's not in a running away mindset. So it hits him.
So the Talon rockets towards the two of you, and it looks like it's aiming again, like straight for Remy's head.
Yeah, the tentacle is striking from the ground, and it's going for Remy's head, and right on that course is Oat's chest. And the tentacle shoots out and hits Oat square in the chest and stops. It goes into his chest a couple of inches, but it does not come out the back. And what you see next is very difficult to describe. Are you all familiar with the actual, like, real world concept of what higher dimensions means? When we talk about higher dimensions in physics, we don't mean like parallel dimensions. What we mean is that there are actually more physical dimensions than just height, width, and length, right? And that the way these are actually structured in the world is like, imagine if you're looking at, I believe Brian Greene uses this in The Elegant Universe, this metaphor. Imagine you're looking at a very far away clothesline. It appears to be a single straight line. And there is an ant crawling across that a clothesline, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it looks as if that there is one dimension that ant can travel in, to the left or the right, the one line. However, from the ant's perspective, there's another little dimension the ant can go, and that is around the clothesline, right? So the ant is still able to move, even though to us it appears to be a single dimensional space, that line. But the ant can go in that little circle around the clothesline. So that higher dimensions aren't parallel dimensions, they're actual physical dimensions that are curled and furled, imperceptible to us, but very much here in our world, curled up in between the dimensions that we experience. What you see now is beginning at the tentacle that has pierced Oat and working itself into the nest of the writhing, hard to look at tentacles of the emissary on the floor is a great unfolding of a higher dimensional object. What appears to be tentacles themselves unfurl into impossible shapes that seem to get bigger as they move further away and get smaller as you lean in to look closer. It is almost like a great flattening is happening, and these new flat shapes that the tentacles are becoming both are near and far away from you, but they are without, it appears to be, any sort of three-dimensional space, more like a collection of two-dimensional planes. And this rapidly spreads to the entire mass of tentacles. And as it does so, the tentacles spread out into a flat plane that seems to go out across the street and cut into the building on the other side. Some planes of it seem to be moving orthogonally, rotating within that two-dimensional plane. It is almost like a three-dimensional kaleidoscope of the colors that only appear when you close your eyes and rub your eyes very, very hard. And then the movement stops and these planes all just sort of fall away. And you can see that it's just like what was once this very complicated mass of vines has now become almost these oddly colored cellophane-like sheets, not moving of their own accord, rustling in the wind, the sound of a dropped sheaf of paper, matched by the rising cascade of Nolastrian police sirens. Blood begins pouring from Oat's chest.
You are now leaving Float City. Thanks for listening. If you like the show and want to help us keep making it, head on over to patreon.com/FunCityVentures. $5 a month gets you access to a whole other show we do called Fun Chatty. It gets you access to our rad as heck Discord full of very weird, very nice and smart nerds, music, playlists, and more. It is a wild deal. You know you wanna. Patreon.com/FunCityVentures. And of course, thanks to all of our current patrons for help keeping this ship afloat.
Hi, I'm Bijan Steven, and I play Remy Tester on Float City. You can find me online on Twitter at Bijan Steven, BIJAN STEPHEN, on Twitch at the same name, and on Instagram at Bijan Cakes, BIJAN Cakes.
I'm Jen Della Vega. I play Merkis and Meldar. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Randwiches. That's the word sandwiches, but replace the S with an R.
This is Shannon Odell. I play Beta Combat. You can find me on social at Showdell.
Hello, this is Nick Guercio, and I play Lux on Fun City and Vynos on Float City. You can find me at Nicholas Guercio on Twitter and in Guercio on Instagram. You spell Guercio Guercio.
I'm Taylor Moore, and I play all the cool, interesting characters. You can follow me at taylor.biz.
My name is Mike Rugnetta. I am your GM, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mike Rugnetta. You can find the show on Twitter and Instagram at Fun City Ventures. Float City is played in a soon-to-be-released system called Stillfleet, which you can find on Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon at Stillfleet. This episode of Float City was recorded at various locations around Brooklyn, New York, and Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It was produced, edited, and sound designed by me, Mike Rugnetta. The horrent demon rose, surrounded with red stars of fire, whirling about in furious circles round the immortal fiend. Then Pixlriffs down descended into his red light. Fun City's music is by Sam Tyndall. Remy's flute playing is by Jake Fridkiss. Our art is by Tess Stone. Our Discord mods are Olivia Goulin, Kelly McHugh, Kit Pulliam, and Kestrel. And the voice of Artemis is Molly Templeton.